age?
32.
And what do you do for work?
I'm a divorce lawyer.
As a divorce lawyer, would you say that divorces are initiated most by men or by women?
Women, 90% of the time.
We thought it was only 70% of the time. It's actually much higher, probably depending on the location that you're at.
Why is that the case?
I think that they yap with their friends, and I think they get real frustrated where guys are like, I'll get to it tomorrow. And I think the women just get in their heads and they're like, all right, I'm done.
So it's the women who are sabotaging their own relationships?
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of it is that they're getting with their girlfriends, they're angry, they just get frustrated, and they have a lot of people in their ears. And I think they just want to, when they're done, they're done.
But surely, as a woman, you shouldn't tolerate any and everything in a relationship.
Definitely not at all, but I feel like things build up really easily with people, and they're talking about it more, where you're like pissed off and you get kind of over it quickly.
So basically what she's saying is that women are keeping women single by basically listening to single women talk about how they need to get out of their relationships. Confirms what we talk about on a regular basis. The fastest way to find yourself on the other side of the fence, the fastest way to find yourself divorced, the fastest way to find yourself looking to find the greener grass when you should have watered the grass that you already had, was to listen to other women. And I don't even think it's just for women in person. I think it also plays as far as what we see happening in social media. It's no coincidence that the majority of people are out here crashing out, but at the same time, it comes at the expense of their own relationship. The more prolific social media becomes, the easier it is for people to find themselves by themselves. That's unfortunate.
How long have you been a divorce attorney?
Probably since 2016, I've been practicing, and then 2017 officially barred.
So being that you've been in the field for 8+ years, do you think that marriage is outdated now?
Can't even answer that one.
But it's more acceptable to get divorced, right? Because we're seeing it a lot more. It's not taboo, so it's changed.
Do you think that sexless marriages can work?
No, and 100%. Every single time, I mostly work for men, so every single time they're in a consult with me, I'm always hearing, I haven't had sex in 10 years, I haven't had sex in 5 years, I haven't had sex in 15 years, and I'm like, here we go again.
That's crazy.
The sex talk. Every single.
See, now it makes more sense because she represents men, so she gets to see exactly how things play out. Could you imagine a guy in a relationship with a woman and he hasn't busted down in over 10 years, 5 years? I mean, for God's sakes, 5 weeks, 5 days, 5 months. That's crazy. You ain't touched the box, but you taking care of her, and she gonna take half of your stuff? This is insane.
Time. So it's you need to make sure you're doing it 3 to 4. I would say 3. 2. Sometimes you want to go 2 times, 2 to 3, but it really should be 4. 2 to 4 times is ideal.
So a lack of sex in these marriages is the most common.
But it comes from other things.
When they end.
They checked out a long time.
It's connected to more of that. It's not just physical. It's all right, well, if you're not into someone and you're disgusted by them and you're pissed off at them, you're not going to be having sex with them, right? Because you're going to be unattracted to them, you're going to be irritated, and you're not going to be into them. So you're not going to be banging them. So
why do you think people stay in these relationships for so long?
I think they stay in it just because it's comfortable and it's easy and it's really hard. This marriage is a breakup on steroids. If you're gonna get a divorce, it's not just I'm moving my shit out, bye-bye. It's if there's kids involved, forget about it. It's your whole life is upended. It's a major decision. Your family's affected.
Guys stick around for the kids.
Half your crap is gone. So it's a little bit tougher than with just a simple.
Half of the stuff is kids. The other half of it is you know. It's just a miserable thing to find yourself in a situation where a chick is taking your kid from you and she ain't giving you no box at the same time. That I can only imagine. This is why you see an uprising in guys are going to get their passports. Dudes are not getting married. When you see women online and they say stuff like, why aren't guys getting married or this and that and so on and so forth? Well, it's not that they're afraid of marriage, it's that they're afraid of divorce. That's pretty much the gist of it.
Breakup.
When a couple goes through a divorce, what's the process typically entail?
Someone has to file, first and foremost, someone's got to file. So you got to fill out the paperwork, file it with the court, and then you've got to serve someone, or they have to sign something saying they've gotten it. So either you have a random stranger who's hired by a service, or you have someone that you know go and hand them the paperwork, which is always awkward. Or you can tell them, hey, I'm going to divorce you, and you're going to sign this document saying you've received this, which is always awkward.
So wait, they don't send a sheriff out to serve them, or?
You can't, like, some people will do that where you can get a constable, but it's not a sheriff. If there's a restraining order, you get a sheriff to do it.
Okay.
That's a whole nother.
So they sign that, then what happens?
Then they have in California, they've got 30 days to file a response. In Massachusetts, where I'm also barred, like, they can just respond. So someone has to respond to it and say, all right, yeah, I want a divorce too, and this is what I want to do. And it's a simple paperwork.
So party A agrees for the divorce, and so does party B. Does that mean that they're officially divorced and that's fun, or?
No, I wish. It'd make things a lot easier, but no, you've got to go through this whole rigmarole. All right, well, what do you have? Show me your paperwork for the past. Show me your bank accounts, show me your credit card statements, show me everything. I want to see what your financial assets are. So you got to break it down each person, which causes problems, right? Because someone's on OnlyFans, you're seeing it in their bank account. It's unlike, Ashley Madison, they used to hide it as American Bank. OnlyFans just says straight up OnlyFans. They have no shame with their billing. So you start seeing these kind of charges, and you go, all right, well, we need to do more. I got to look into this. What else have you done? Have you gone to hotels? I want to see more bank statements. Take me back 5 years.
And so this can expose more infidelity in a relationship.
Yeah, and problems. So it's like, all right, now you're doing a deep dive.
I don't understand why people don't just go their own separate ways. Like, okay, listen, we don't want to be together anymore. Why continue to try to find stuff or open wounds? Like, even if it was a possibility of you reconciling, that's not going to happen because people are looking for problems. They're looking for issues. They're looking for things. And I just think that it's it sounds like a miserable situation.
And now you're starting to snoop through stuff, and you've got some problems.
Okay. But after that process is done with the financial assets and looking at that, is it just the man had... So after that part's done, is it the man has made $100K and the girl makes $50K, so the girl gets $25 from the man, or what?
No. Then you're going to be looking at a whole complicated state-by-state calculation of, all right, how long were you married? Who paid what? Who's doing what? Who can earn what? Like, so now you're looking at all the potential of that, and you're going to get a crazy calculation. And if you're married for a decent amount of time, you're going to get some spousal support. If you're, like, say the guy's paying all the bills, woman's at home. The guy's going to pay up. He's going to be paying a good amount, and it's going to be for, in California, if it's less than 10 years, he'll be paying half the length of the marriage. Massachusetts.
Jesus, California is a demon. Yo, never, ever, ever get married and move to California. Ever. Never go to California, ever. Don't even live in California. Don't visit it. California is the devil. It's a demon. But again, I don't understand why people don't just make a clean break. Listen, this is what you get. Do your thing. Because the more that you get lawyers involved, the more it's going to cost, and legal fees and all of this other stuff. And so it just doesn't make sense. You're giving all of your money over to the state. But I also understand that there's a lot of bitter women and a lot of bitter people that want to just completely destroy the person instead of moving on with their lives. And so then it becomes a much more complicated situation.
You go, it goes to 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20. It doesn't go, it's more regulated, but it just depends.
Being a divorce lawyer for 8 years, are you for prenups or are you against them?
Prenups are amazing. I'm a big fan of prenups. When some of my friends get married, instead of giving them a blender, I give them a prenup because it's a lot more useful, and I just do it for free and set it up, and I know the relationships, you know what to put in there, and it's great. So prenups, and you have a roadmap, basically of what you're going to do. You can save like $50K on average if you have a prenup, like easily, because you already say you divide this, do that, and you can put future stuff in there. So vacation home, okay, I have no vacation home right now, but you put in the prenup and you can divide your vacation home, or say you have a business. divide your business a certain way. You do certain things.
But if prenups are so simple, why are so many women against it?
Because they want as much as they can get, obviously.
Demons.
I mean, you're not going to go to someone and say, hey, you want half my, can I give you half the amount you're supposed to get? Who would take that deal? Not many.
Never, ever, ever. For guys that are successful, that have grown, that have become more greater at whatever it is that they do, if you find a chick later on in life, and because all women want men that's already at the finish line, if you find a chick later on in life, make sure you get a prenuptial agreement and don't let her try to guilt you into saying, oh man, if you love me, then I feel like you shouldn't get a prenup because you're already spelling the demise of the relationship. Get a motherfucking prenup.
Many people, so it's not a very appealing thing. It's like going to someone who's ordering a sandwich and said, let me give you half the sandwich. Who's going to eat that sandwich? You want the full sandwich.
Get a prenup.
And what's the biggest misconception you've noticed when it comes on to divorces?
I don't think they're as taboo as they need to be. Like, everyone's like, oh, it's so bad, and it's like ruins your whole life. It doesn't. I think like there's a lot of times where people find their second loves, and that seems to be really amazing, and they seem so much more happier and balanced.
Don't do it.
So it shouldn't be as taboo, and that's a misconception.
Have you ever had to represent a client over multiple marriages?
Yeah, and every single time I'm like, don't do it, man, don't do it. Can you get a prenup? Can you do something? And I have like multiple clients that are like, all right, here we go again. I just tell them don't do it, and they just do it. And I'm like, all right, see you soon.
Are you single?
No, I'm married.
How long have you been married?
About 5 years.
So how does your job make you view your relationship with him?
Just like question. More, you're looking out a little bit more. You're like, all right, I need to maybe work on things a little bit more. You see stuff that's alarming. And when you're dating as a divorce lawyer, it gets a little crazy, right? Because you're like, all right, let me see how he is angry. Let me see how he is when he's sad. Let me make sure I go through a major event before I commit. Let me see how it is living with this person. So you have to be more.
And then God bless the SUV that's going to try to back up right into the shot of them interviewing right now.
More aware.
So would you say that mentally it still puts a strain on your relationship, or it's just as easy as like working at a 9 to 5?
What is it with the strain? I think it makes it stronger because you know what not to do. Basically, you're like, all right, if I do this, this might be a problem, because you see so many guys complain about like, my wife didn't do this, my wife didn't do that, and that bothered me. So I make sure not to do those things.
That's messed up. So listen, y'all let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. I can't wait to see what y'all say about this one.